Many people are familiar with Taiwanese opera and glove puppet theater, though fewer are aware of shadow puppet theater. Some 3 centuries ago, this art form spread to southern Taiwan and became quite popular, though the popularization of television in the mid-1960s led to dwindling audiences. At the moment, there are only a handful of surviving shadow puppet theater troupes which continue to carry on this art form in spite of struggles they face. Our Sunday in-depth report.
60-year-old Chang Fu-gwo is the 6th-generation leader of the Tunghua Shadow Puppet Theater troupe, which was founded in 1820.
Shadow Puppet Theater was once called Naughty Monkey because the figures in our performances actually seem like monkeys jumping around.
Shadow Puppet Theater is thought to have arrived in southern Taiwan via China's Chaozhou. During the Japanese occupation of Taiwan, the art form was restricted, with no formal performances until after World War II. As Shadow Puppet Theater moved back into local theaters, it enjoyed immense popularity.
Some theaters only had 1 or 2 pillars. People were everywhere. Some would disregard their safety and climb up for a better view.
Chang is considered a national treasure and a revered instructor. Besides speaking the parts, he can draw figures on a piece of leather, cut them out, and then carve features and color them.
All this work has to be coherent. If you draw it incorrectly, you might lose some pieces when cutting.
Following the rise of television in Taiwan in the mid-1960s, people stopped going to the theater. Traditional shadow puppet theater gradually declined. This caused a financial crisis among shadow puppet theater troupes. Traditional shadow puppet theater is either based on classical literature or military dramas. Those from literature typically come in 4 acts, which are difficult for the audience to sit through. Many performances tend toward military dramas.
After Taiwan left the United Nations in 1979, there was a national outcry. We reflected upon what in Taiwan was worth saving. We should be proud that in 1982 and 1983, the government earmarked funding for these shadow puppet theater groups.
The Kaohsiung Museum of Shadow Puppets was established in 1994. It is a leader in supporting shadow puppet theater and provides a venue for theater groups to perform regularly. Winning back lost audiences continues to be difficult. In 2002, Chen Cheng-hong formed the Yung-changKun Shadow Puppet Theater troupe. It was renamed the Kaohsiung Shadow Puppet Theater troupe in 2013. Over the years, Chen has devoted himself to innovation within this traditional art form.
There is more detail in these shadow puppets. We tried to make them more beautiful and appealing to the eye. We even added a few mechanical items, such as colorful lights, to attract children. If we don't do this, people will simply go home and watch television, instead of coming to see shadow puppet theater.
Chen is continuing to pursue innovation. He even invented a new form of shadow puppet theater, where staff, dressed in black, perform under special lights. The puppets are painted with fluorescent pigments to create a special visual effect. Chen also brings his shadow puppet theater to school campuses in the hopes of educating and passing down this traditional art form.
They are selfless in their work. As long as the children are interested and willing to learn, they're willing to come and promote shadow puppet theater, even if we don't have enough money to pay them. They have been very enthusiastic.
Traditional shadow puppet theater groups are not only innovating the art form, but also seeking to connect with local schools. But with only limited government grants and performance opportunities, it's proving difficult to keep theater troupes afloat.
The government has not done enough. I feel like it does not support troops with large ambitions. For example, if we have 10 or more staff and another group just has 5, the subsidies we receive are the same. It's unfair.
Being designated a national treasure, I've helped with a few performances, but others need to survive too. I don't want to see these other masters struggle.
For traditional shadow puppet theater to continue, support must come not only from the government, but also businesses and civic groups. This is the only way this type of traditional culture can continue.